Hi everybody. So this is the first part of the Coca-Cola Company operations presentation. In this video, I'll be covering their operation strategy, their corporate vision, and also their value chain. And then once you're finished watching my video, you can check out Zach and Spencer's videos, which are the other two parts of the presentation. Coca-Cola is known as a global business, but they operate on a local scale, and that's in every community that they do business. Coca-Cola's system is strengthened by the fact that they can achieve a global reach while also remaining focused locally. As you can see on this slide, there's 4 different groups listed. These are all the operational leadership groups that Coca-Cola has established. There's the North America, Latin America, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific groups. All of these groups have their own separate presidents that lead them. Within Coca-Cola's entire company, there are nearly 250 bottling partners worldwide. But these partner locations are not actually owned by Coca-Cola, since they are not a single entity, which is from a legal perspective. Coca-Cola does own their own brand, however, and they're responsible for their consumer brand marketing initiatives. So even though they do not fully own the partners, they still do implement their overall brand initiatives. Since Coca-Cola takes care of their own brand and the marketing initiatives that they have, then they have to manufacture and sell their concentrates, the beverage bases, and their syrups to the bottling partners. Once the bottling partners receive Coca-Cola's concentrates and the others that I mentioned earlier, the bottling partners manufacture, package, merchandise, and distribute the final branded Coca-Cola beverages to the customers and the vending partners. Typically, when you think of customers, you think of the consumers. But for Coca-Cola, the customers are typically the grocery stores, restaurants, street vendors, convenience stores, movie theaters, and many others who sell the Coca-Cola products. What's interesting about Coca-Cola's strategy is that they create a plan between the bottling partners and the customers, which they execute locally. Those customers then sell the products to the consumers. Since Coca-Cola's process is pretty complex, I'm just going to review their system and explain what I just went through again. So Coca-Cola sells their beverage bases to the bottling partners, and then the partners produce the finished product, and then they distribute to the customers, and then the customers sell to the consumers, which is usually in their stores. In this second section, I'm going to be going over the corporate vision for Coca-Cola. So as our world continues to change, the businesses need to look ahead to see the emerging trends that are going to reshape our markets. And then as you can see in this picture that I used, you can't always see what's up ahead. So companies like Coca-Cola, they have to make it their goal to move quickly so they can prepare for what's next. Preparing for change is really the key, even if we're not certain of what the change is going to be in the future. So Coca-Cola really does have a focus on preparing for change. Their 2020 vision focuses on them getting ready for tomorrow today. It also provides a long-term destination for the business, and it provides some clarity in how to be successful with their bottling partners. Even though this section is mostly focused on the vision for Coca-Cola, they also focus on their mission and their values. All 3 of those aspects they consider to be the roadmap for winning. The vision itself serves as the framework for the roadmap. The purpose of the vision is to guide the aspects of the business by describing what needs to be accomplished in order to continue achieving the sustainable and quality growth that can make the company continue winning. So on Coca-Cola's website, I found that they have 6 aspects that they put into their vision statement. And the 6 different aspects start with the letter P. They are people, portfolio, partners, planet, profit, and productivity. In the next few slides, I'm going to go over each one of those and also give a brief description of what that means for each of them in light of the vision. So the first P is for people. Coca-Cola is focused on the people in their company because they think it is important to enjoy the work and also to feel inspired to be the best that you can be. The next is for portfolio. There is a range of quality beverages that you can choose from for Coca-Cola's products. All the beverages from Coca-Cola can be made in anticipation of people's needs and desires. This one stands for partners. Creating a nurturing environment between the customers and the supplier will ensure that there is a mutual and enduring value. Through how I explained the partnerships of Coca-Cola's earlier, you can see how they already have a big focus on these partnerships, and they really do value them and see how it can help them grow the business. So for this one, it's for the planet. And Coca-Cola is aware that the environmental impact their business can have could be either positive or negative. Later on, I'm going to go over some of the initiatives that they have been taking to make sure that their impact is positive. They want to be a responsible citizen in society and make a positive difference. But to do so, they are focused on building and supporting the communities, which supports the sustainability of the company. This slide stands for the profit. Coca-Cola's shareholders want a long-term return on their investment. But while the company focuses on maximizing those returns, they also have to keep in mind the overall responsibilities. So clearly Coca-Cola cares about profit, but they don't want it to obscure their view of their long-term goals and what the company needs to be doing to move forward. This is the final part of Coca-Cola's vision, and this one stands for productivity. This point is most closely related to the importance of operations in Coca-Cola's vision. Their vision in operations is to be a highly effective, lean, and also a fast-moving organization. To achieve this, the operations strategy reflects all three of those characteristics. Within the value chain, Coca-Cola has several stages. Each of the stages that they have are important to make up the whole picture, and they also create value for the company. Coca-Cola cares about how they do business and not only what it is that they make. They're committed to making changes in their operations, and one of those reasons is to reduce the impact on the climate overall. One of the ways that Coca-Cola is reducing their impact is through reducing emissions in their manufacturing sites. There are two targets Coca-Cola aims for in reducing emissions. The first is to grow the business, not the carbon system-wide. And second is to achieve a 5% absolute reduction in the developed countries. However, Coca-Cola has had challenges keeping to the targets due to volume growth outpacing the emission ratio improvements, and also insourcing of external manufacturing processes. Back in 2004, Coca-Cola realized that they were having challenges keeping to their emissions reduction processes, and so they set a target baseline. And then by 2015, they were able to achieve a 24% improvement compared to the baseline that they had set in 2004. So overall, the company has been improving, but they still face different challenges in reducing emissions and just overall becoming more sustainable. Coca-Cola also aims to use energy more efficiently in their manufacturing sites. Particularly because of the difficulties in reducing emissions, renewable energy is an area they are working to advance. One of the ways in the past few years that Coca-Cola was able to advance the renewable energy initiative was by creating the Clean Energy Toolkit. This toolkit that they created was designed to help the local teams make informed decisions. And by using this toolkit in all of the different sites, Coca-Cola can try to continue to lower their emissions and just generally be a more clean company. One example of the toolkit being put into action is the Coca-Cola European Partners, or the CCEP. They were committed to sourcing 100% of the electricity from renewable energy sources by the year 2020. Agriculture is another one of the aspects of Coca-Cola's value chain, since half of what they spend on product input is to the agriculture. They focus on supporting a healthy agricultural supply chain, which is essential to the well-being of communities, economies, and the environment as a whole. Since the needs of customers are always changing, Coca-Cola considers their beverages to be a part of the value chain as they embrace a growth strategy and operating model that adjusts to customer taste and their buying habits. One of the ways that Coca-Cola listened to the changing customer habits was when they reduced sugar in their drinks globally, while still being able to preserve the taste people wanted and were used to. Coca-Cola continues to expand their availability of smaller packages and also broaden the portfolio in established and new categories. With a company as big as Coca-Cola, control can really be an issue, especially when it comes to the bottling partners. In 2006, Coca-Cola established a competitive advantage when their company-owned bottling operations were brought together to form the Bottling Investments Group, or as they call it, BIG. BIG was created to ensure those bottling operations receive the appropriate investments and to ensure their long-term success. It enabled Coca-Cola to choose to invest in certain bottling partnerships and temporarily have them under the ownership of Coca-Cola. The bottling partners gained the expertise of the leadership of Coca-Cola and also the extra resources. In the long run, the group should be able to drive growth in the most critical markets and at the same time address any structural or investment challenges that may come up. The reason that the group was first formed was because Coca-Cola had a lot of their bottling partners all over the world. At first, they had places in Brazil, India, Norway, and even in America, in Philadelphia just nearby. Yet, all the bottlers had a transition period because BIG faced different challenges because all the bottlers were in different markets around the world. The reason that the bottlers could come together so easily, even though there was initial challenges overall, is because they all have the same goal of increasing efficiencies and the revenues of the Coca-Cola company. The result of adding more bottlers to BIG is a healthier bottling system and also a healthier overall company. So BIG really does benefit the company and the bottlers themselves. Two of the strongest indicators for Coca-Cola that BIG really is improving the health of the company is through the volume and the revenue. The bottlers are built up based on long-term goals, and issues are not considered a quick fix. If they were to just take a quick fix approach, this pushes the problem to the side, and it also erodes the value of the entire bottling system. Even though a focus on long-term sustainable growth can require higher costs up front to rebuild the kind of profitability that is expected, Coca-Cola understands that is okay. Over the years, there is opportunity for increasingly better performance. Sometimes the upfront costs are worth it because in the end, the performance will be better. So this wraps up the first part of the Coca-Cola presentation. Thanks for watching and be sure to check out part 2 and part 3 to keep learning more.